Hi, this is Jason Bennett from the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. I also have with me Anna Martin, who I believe that a lot of you have received numerous emails, phone calls over the past several months regarding the North Carolina Sheriff's Association's Fire and EMS Procurement Program. Good to have you with us today. This is a new format for the North Carolina Sheriff's Association, a YouTube video. So I hope that you will excuse all of the early problems that we may have because both of us are a little technology unsavvy, if you will. So forgive our shortcomings when it comes to this, but both Anna and I felt as if due to the cancellation of last week's Fire and EMS pre-bid meeting that we need to get some information out to everybody regarding the upcoming Fire and EMS procurement program. So today we are going to do an instructional video on a variety of different things here at the association and how it may relate to you submitting your bids for this new procurement program for the Sheriff's Association. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this wonderful instructional video for Fire and EMS. But please let us know, of course, at the end if you have any questions or if you need any additional information. Anna Martin, of whom you have the information, you can call her or email her at any time if you have any questions regarding what we covered today, the terms and conditions of the program, how to submit a hard bid copy, a soft bid, everything else that you may have questions about. Both Anna and I are here to answer any questions that you may have. So here we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to talk about is why does the North Carolina Sheriff's Association have a involved role in procurement in North Carolina? Well, several years ago, the North Carolina Sheriff's Association came up with a decision that we have to start working on several different programs that will provide the association with non-dues revenue so that the North Carolina Sheriff's Association can continue to provide the sheriffs of North Carolina with ongoing education, support, and training. We have several different departments here at the association, all of which help support the Office of Sheriff in every county of North Carolina, whether it's government relations support down at the North Carolina Legislature, or if it's legal support that the Office of Sheriff requires from the association. And then also we have ongoing training and events that we provide all throughout the year on a variety of topics, whatever is most pertinent to the Office of Sheriff, to include but not limited to the sex offender tracking, gun law changes, legislative update training, and it goes on and on and on. So with all that support that we provide to the Office of Sheriff, we need money to be able to help continue to provide this support to the Office of Sheriff. So that's where Anna and I come in. We have procurement programs that we have established 7 years ago. We first got started with police-rated and special service vehicles. That is what the sheriffs have asked of us to provide a program for, so that not only we could provide some non-dues revenue for their association, but also we needed to provide an easy way for the Office of Sheriff to provide to get their purchasing processes streamlined. There are a lot of smaller offices in the state of North Carolina, and the sheriff has to do pretty much everything from dog catching to civil processing to arrest authority to the control over the jails and even courthouse security. So with that, we stepped in to help ease the process to procure their vehicles for their fleet. Well, that started to become really, really profitable for not only the association, but it worked out well for the Office of Sheriff. And the word got out. Word got out to other divisions of local government, for instance, Parks and Rec, and also Public Works. So then they said, well, if our Office of Sheriff or the police department can get their pursuit rated vehicles, then why can't we get our fleet vehicles for the city or the county? So with that said, what we did is that we expanded that program. So now we have over 500 different vehicle opportunities on this program. We have everything from chassis to trucks to vans to hybrid and electric vehicles to motorcycles, and the program has really expanded a lot. So with that said, we have expanded even further to heavy equipment. Heavy equipment, of course, as you all probably know, includes everything from landfill compactors to sewer suckers to street sweepers to roadway signs to generators, to pretty much anything you can think of. As of right now, we have over 4,000 pieces of equipment on our heavy equipment procurement program. And then also in addition to that, we also have tires and we also have vehicle equipment and upfitting. So our initiatives within procurement have really, really grown a lot. With that said, the word has gotten out as well into other states. We have now developed several procurement programs in the Commonwealth of Virginia, also in the state of Texas, and also in the state of Indiana. So we manage those procurement programs as well. The next natural way for us to expand so that we can continue our obligation to help with supporting first responders in the state of North Carolina is to add fire and EMS into our procurement initiatives here at the association. So that is one of the reasons why we have this program getting ready to be started and managed by Anna, whom you've spoken with. So this is why we have gotten to the point where we want to add fire and EMS. We feel as if it's not only beneficial to the North Carolina Sheriff's Association to add this, but also we have heard numerous times that we need to benefit the individual fire agencies across the state of North Carolina to help, again, ease that procurement process for when they are trying to procure any type of fire and EMS equipment. So that is a little bit of the history of the procurement program and why we've decided to go down this route. It's been very beneficial for the Sheriff's Association, and it's also been very beneficial for local government to be able to provide them an opportunity to be able to have an alternative to their purchasing processes. So the program expectations, what are the program expectations for the Sheriff's Association, and why would you all be interested in getting involved into this program? I know that a lot of you, this is the first time that you've been involved in a North Carolina Sheriff's Association procurement program, and I really, really appreciate your initiative and your support. One thing that Anna and I definitely want to drive home is that we definitely value our manufacturer and our dealer partners on this. We realized after doing procurement for so many years that we could not have this program if it were not for you, the dealers and manufacturers. We could not provide these services to the counties and city governments if we don't have your support and your participation. So I definitely want to start off by saying thank you for your willingness to support the program, learn with us on how best to format this program. And then also we want to just make sure that we send a sincere thank you guys for all of your participation and support so far. So our expectations for the association are great. The reason why I say that is because of our procurement initiatives that we've been doing over the past several years. And to the point that we are now selling heavy equipment, not only in North Carolina, but also in 7 different states across the union. We are doing a lot of heavy equipment work in South Carolina, Tennessee, and especially in Georgia. So the word is definitely getting out. And also to the fact that other sheriff's associations across the country are asking us to duplicate these efforts. We definitely are thinking that the expectations are going to be great for the fire and EMS procurement program as well. If it's based on anything that we have done so far with procurement, be expecting a great response from local government for this program. So again, thank you very much for your participation. And I want to also talk about customer feedback from other programs. We consistently get great customer feedback from cities like the city of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, Fairfax County outside of DC, Wake County, city of Raleigh, all the airports. The Charlotte International Airport purchases all their heavy equipment and vehicles through us. We have some great large customers, and also we have fantastic smaller counties and also smaller cities. Sometimes the cities, I've never even heard of the city, it's so small, so I had never even knew that that city existed. But then also I was like, how in the world did you all find out about this program? And it's word of mouth, and it's definitely working to our advantage because our continued level of purchase orders continues to increase on a monthly basis. We even got a phone call a couple weeks ago from a Public Works director in Alaska asking to buy a truck off of our program. So the word definitely is getting out. So the customer feedback is there, it's positive, and that is one of the reasons why we continue to expand so that we can continue to serve our customers of county and local governments. One thing I do want to say is that I know that you guys have received a lot of emails from Anna, and I know that she has been in touch with you by phone. And I do want to let you know that Anna and everybody here, and as well as everybody out in YouTube land, are very busy. And so I want to say that if Anna is going to be sending you an email with information regarding this program, it is going to be important. So please make sure that you read Anna's emails. You continue to go through all of the different dates that are required for bid submissions. Please make sure you do that. And please make sure that you read Anna's emails. They're very important. But if you need anything, if something is not explained in her emails, please pick up the phone, call one of us, And then also email us if you have any questions. I know this is a huge learning curve for everybody, and that's why Anna and I are here to answer any questions that you may have. One thing I definitely do want to drive home is that the first draft bid package was sent out on March 13th. I know that receive a lot of questions on why do we go back and forth on draft bid packages, where it goes from the Sheriff's Association back to the dealers and back to the Sheriff's Association. The reason why that is because we cannot make any changes once the contract is awarded. We cannot go in and manipulate any specifications. We can't add, we can't delete, because once the bid submissions are done, we go out to bid and award the contracts. We can't manipulate it at that time. And contracts are good for 1 full year. And so that way we want to make sure that we have all of your equipment not only listed on the program, but also it is listed correctly. So that's one of the reasons why we go back and forth on these draft bid packages. So the first draft bid package was sent out on March 13th. And then that gives you guys an opportunity to look at everything that you have submitted into the North Carolina Sheriff's Association to make sure that the links to the marketing materials are correct, that the specifications are listed correctly, and that you have all the equipment that not only is available for the next full year, but also that you don't have anything that's on there that's no longer available, or for instance, when they go off a contract in the next 1 or 2 months. Because we definitely want to make sure that the bid package that we provide to governments has every single piece of equipment that is available, and it will be available for 1 full year. So please make sure that you review the draft bid packages when Anna sends that back to you. Review the specifications, make sure it's listed correctly. And then also pay attention a little bit later in this video. I'm going to go over upgrades and downgrades to existing specifications. I want to make sure that with that understanding, you have exactly a good understanding of what you have listed on the draft bid package. Because again, we cannot change anything after we award those contracts. Another question that we could continue to receive is, what if you have any extra pieces of equipment that you needed to add, even though that you have already submitted all your specifications into the ANA? It is not too late, so please review the draft bid package. If you have anything extra that you want to add, or you forgot to add it, or your manufacturer came back and said, hey, this is a new piece of equipment that we're adding for model year 2020, please make sure that you guys are out there selling it. Let us know. It's not too late. Please contact Anna directly and let her know that if you all have any additional pieces of equipment that you want to add to this year's lot sheet. Again, it's not too late, but the time is ticking, so we need to make sure we get this draft bid package done as quickly as possible so that we can continue to meet the calendar dates that you all have. So another question that we continue to get is that, considering what's going on in this country and around the world with COVID-19, will this association continue to abide by the calendar that was released? And it's also on our website. And the answer is yes. As of right now, all of the dates that are on our calendar, we will be abiding by. So please make sure that you reread the calendar to make sure you don't miss any of those dates, because all of them are very important, but some of them, if you miss, you won't be eligible to bid for this upcoming year. So make sure you pay attention to the calendar. And also, if you do not have a copy of the calendar, please make sure that you go and visit our website, which is ncsheriffs.org/procurement. And then you can go there and you can go and click on fire and EMS, and all of the required documentation is listed on that website, as well as the calendar. So want to go over the next thing. I want to go over the lot sheet. So I know that you guys have received the lot sheet from Anna, and I want to make sure that we all have a really good and clear understanding of what the lot sheet is. So the first opportunity, or first block that you have within your lot sheet, you have your base model of your vehicle, of your fire and EMS piece of equipment. And when we say base, we want to make sure that you all provide us with the most basic specification that you possibly can. You do have the ability to work with your customer to do add-ons to options, to delete options, to be able to spec that piece of fire and EMS equipment out based on what the customer wants. So that's why we ask for you all to do just the base model, so that you can go up and down and spec out that vehicle based on what your customer wants. We at the Sheriff's Association kind of take a step back at that point, because you know your equipment and the customer knows what they want. So why do you need the Sheriff's Association involved during that selling on your behalf and the ordering on behalf of the county or the city? So that's our opportunity for you to work with your customer to spec out that piece of equipment the way that he wants or she wants. That's why we just want the base model of that vehicle. Don't put in any options because you can definitely do that later. We also have a link on the lot sheet that will link to any of your marketing slicks, is what I call them, marketing opportunities or marketing available documentation that you have from your manufacturer, your OEM. So that is an opportunity so that if you have a county or city government that is browsing this document, the lot sheet, they can click on that and then go to your sales sheets in your marketing slicks. Now, if you do not have anything that is listed, let us know. And then we have a notes section that Anna can add in any type of notes that you may want. So please make sure that if you have any notes that you want to add in on any specific piece of equipment, that you tell Anna so that she can add that in there onto that notes section. The next thing is you have your base price. That's not due now. So please do not submit any pricing into Anna at this point. That is actually not due until your electronic bid submission, which is, I believe, June 8th at 12 noon. That's when that is due. So no pricing is due now to Anna, but that is a part of the lot sheet. So once you complete your lot sheet during your electronic bid submission, you just enter in your base price, and then you also put in your percent discount off of the base price that you're going to be offering to your government customers. This is where I really would encourage you to do your MSRP into the base price, and then whatever discount that you provide your government customers into the lot column that's next to your base price. So you have your MSRP, and then say, for example, you provide government customers an 8% discount off of MSRP. So you would have your MSRP price of your piece of equipment, and then under your base price discount, 8%. And then the next column, you'll have attachments, and the next column, you'll have accessories. And then you'll go through and submit pricing on whatever discounts you provide to that government customer on your base price, your attachments, and your accessories. On our heavy equipment side, some of the manufacturers, the way they do it is that they put their discounted price already into that base price, and they put 0% discount under the base price discount. So what I would encourage you to do is leave it at MSRP and then actually show the government customer how much of a percentage discount they're getting off of MSRP. The reason why that's important is because a lot of your competitors will be putting 8, 10, sometimes do 12% off of MSRP, and then you have 0% because your discount's already included in that MSRP. So it really doesn't look as competitive when you're comparing all of the different versions under each individual lot. So that's how I would do it. So let's recap. We have your base price of your MSRP, then you have your percentage off that you would enter, and then you would have your percentage discounts on your attachments and also your accessories. So that's the pricing that you all will need to be including into that lot sheet that's due on June 8th at 12 noon. So if you have any questions, of course, Anna and I are here to answer any questions on how to submit that lot sheet. What I would do is I would encourage you all to submit it before that date. So if you're missing anything or if something's incorrect, we can have an opportunity to go back to you and say, hey, you missed this or you did this incorrectly, and we have some time to go back and forth to make sure that once that cutoff date happens, that we have everything correctly. So please make sure that you submit it in a little bit early, just to make sure, since this is the first year of this program, that we have everything in correct and that we won't have any problems once bid cutoffs. Because once bidding closes, we can't manipulate anything. So I just want to make sure that we give everybody a little bit extra time, given that this is the first year of the program. So also want to cover, since we're on the topic of lot sheets, I also want to cover the fact that Anna has broken up a lot of different equipment into several different lots. And so we have them broken up by ambulance, fire, etc. So if you have a piece of equipment that does not fit one of those lots, please let Anna know. We'll be more than happy to create a new lot for you. So just let us know. And also, if you see any lots that are within the program that we currently have that are duplicative, that we need to add or we need to combine, let us know as well. We want this lot sheet to be as clean as possible. And you all know this equipment much better than we do. So we definitely want to make sure that we have our lots done correctly, named correctly, because we can't change anything once bids go out and are done. So please pay attention to the lots. Let Anna know if there's any changes that we need to make when it comes to the lot sheet. One thing I do want to talk about is the cutoff date is May 18th. Don't forget that. After May 18th, we can't change the lot sheet. So you have a little bit of time. So we have a lot of back and forth opportunities with the bid package that goes back and forth between you all and Anna. So definitely we have some time for that. But please, with everything being a little bit crazy now with the virus going around, I don't want that May 18th date to sneak up on you. Because at that point, everything is done and we can't manipulate that lot sheet. So please make sure that you have everything in to Anna by May 18th. The bid period opens on May 18th, and it closes at 12 noon on June 8th. During that time, that is when you submit your pricing that we just talked about with your lots. So between May 18th and June 8th, you will have an opportunity to submit all that pricing into Anna. And again, what we're looking for is your MSRP and then your percent discount off of MSRP for government customers, and then your percentage discount for attachments and then accessories. So that's what we're looking for during this time. So you have several weeks to get that pricing in. But again, a helpful reminder is to get that information into Anna as soon as possible and not wait to that end of that bid period. Because we can work with you and make sure everything is in correctly. One thing I do want to make sure that you know is that the North Carolina Sheriff's Association, we do charge a commission off of every incoming purchase order. That commission is 3/4% and that 3/4% is off of the total purchase order amount. And so please make sure that 3/4% is included into that pricing that you have submitted on your lot sheet. Again, I want to reiterate, please, on that base price that you enter on your lot sheet, please make sure that you include your 3/4% commission back to the NCSA. It's very important because we've had several contractors that forgot to do that, and so therefore that 3/4% was not in that actual base price that they were contracted in for one full year. So please make sure you put that 3/4% into your base price. And as well, freight in our terms and conditions document that's also on our website, that is also included freight. So whatever freight that you charge on that purchase order, that needs to be included as well. So if you have any questions on how to calculate freight, please let Anna know, and then she and I can respond to you about that. One thing that I do want to talk about is that electronic bid response is due June 8th at 12 o'clock. I've said that a few times, but it's a very important date. June 8th at 12 o'clock, all the electronic bid responses are due. And a lot of people have asked us, what is an electronic bid response? Very easy. Don't worry about it. What that is that it is the pricing that you have submitted on your lot sheet. So your lot sheet should be completed with everything correct, with your base price, your percentage discounts filled in, and then sent to Anna electronically by 12 noon, June 8th. So if you have any questions about the electronic bid submission, please let Anna or I know. We can talk you through that as well. The next thing that we have is a hard bid copy. Our hard bid package is due on June 12th at 5 p.m. And not 5:05, not 6 o'clock, not June 13th, but 5 o'clock on June 12th. We have to be very strict about these hard bid and electronic bid submissions. And so please make sure that you pay attention to the calendar and the reminders that Anna will be sending out routinely, reminding you of what is due in the next week or so. A lot of people have asked, what is a hard bid submission? A hard bid submission is that lot sheet that you submitted electronically, printed out, and then also in addition to that, we have several forms that are required in order for your bid to be complete. Some of the forms include a drug-free workplace form, insurance checklist, terms and conditions signature page, all of those different documents, of which A will be sent out to you by Anna in an email, and then also those documents can be found on our website, and so you can either download them from our website or you can get them as an attachment from Anna. But those do need to be filled out, and those do need to be attached to the hard bid submission that needs to be submitted into the association by June 12th and 5 p.m. According to the terms and conditions, the Sheriff's Association does not accept any responsibility for delay in mail or FedEx deliveries or anything else. So please make sure that you get that into us by June 12th at 5 p.m. Very important. If you have any questions about those documents, please let us know. One of the documents does need to get notarized. Some of them have to get signed by your manufacturer representatives. So please make sure you provide enough time to get those into us by that cutoff time, because some of them may take a little bit longer than just filling out a form. So please make sure you download those forms and get them into us before June 12th at 5 p.m. The contract award for this new fire and EMS program is June 18th. So those once that June 18th date rolls around, your contracts will be good for 1 full year, 365 days, and they will expire on June 17th in 2021. According to the terms and conditions of the program, we will provide a rollover opportunity for every existing contract that is awarded for this current bid number. So please, if you're interested in rollovers, let us know. We can talk to you about how that rollover process works. We will definitely send out a lot of information towards the end of this contract, towards probably the springtime of 2021. So please, if you have any questions about rollovers, please let us know. But it is listed within the terms and conditions document of the program that is on our website. So you can download that document as well. So please make sure you read that, because one of those required hard bid submission documents will be a terms and conditions signature page that will lock you guys into the terms. So please make sure you read that document. It's very important, and will answer a lot of questions that you may have about the program. But the rollover section is in the terms and conditions. And like I said before, we provide up to 2 one-year extensions on rollovers. We find that that's very advantageous for current contract holders, because you really can start marketing these contracts knowing that you could have them up to 3 full years of this existing contract. So one thing on the rollovers, I know a lot of people have questions about rollover pricing. We do allow for an increase in price from a rollover opportunity. So if you have an existing contract in your 2020 contract and want to roll over to 2021, we do provide a price increase opportunity for you. So please let us know about that. There's a required documentation that you need to fill out to submit for your price increase request. On the same lines of a price increase, also listed within the terms and conditions, is that if things change in your current pricing, say for instance you were awarded a contract for a piece of equipment for this 2020 contract, and something happens to that piece of equipment, such as a tariff on steel, gas prices, oil prices go up, your manufacturer increases your pricing, the Sheriff's Association will work with you mid-contract. So on one contract increase, price increase. So we do allow for one price increase for the term of your contract. So please make sure that when you do submit paperwork for a request for price increase while you're mid-contract, please make sure that you know that can be the only price increase we accept mid-contract. And of course, we can accept decreases at any time throughout the year, but for some reason, I just have never received any decreases in pricing. But again, I want to reiterate, you can increase your price one time throughout the existing of the current contract. One thing I do want to talk about also that I think that needs to be kind of driven home to everybody is that one of the things that we're going to be looking for you all in order for you all to be managing your own contracts is your purchase orders, your incoming purchase orders. It's very, very important. When we roll over contracts or we award new contracts to existing contract holders, we look at your performance over the previous year on how well you performed on administering this contract. And so one of the ways that you administer a contract positively in our eyes is a opportunity for you to submit your purchase orders into the Sheriff's Association within 10 business days of you receiving it from your government customer. What that means is that once a government customer comes to you and submits a purchase order, then you handle that the way that you normally do. The only thing that we request, it's very simple, is for you to forward us a copy of the purchase order after it has been submitted from your government customer. Those purchase orders have to be submitted into ANA and within 10 business days. That's written in the terms and conditions. So please don't forget to do that because that will be a part of the process that we do to determine whether or not we roll over contracts or award new contracts. We also received a copy of the purchase order from the government customer as well. We work with our government customers to remind them to send in the copies of their purchase orders in addition to you all sending in a purchase order. So it's a check and balance for us to making sure that we receive all the purchase orders that have been sold off of this program. So please, please, please work with us on this. It's very, very important to submit those purchase orders within 10 business days of you all receiving them. The other thing, since we're on the same topic of purchase orders, the way that we bill for our commission, again, that commission is 3/4 of 1%, is that we will bill everyone on a quarterly basis, and it will send out announcements going into each individual quarter, reminding you of making sure that all purchase orders are submitted, and then also the determination of when your actual quarterly report is due. She will also send out a template of what your quarterly report should look like, very easy. And one thing I really want to make sure that you all know is that we do not collect our commission on anything that you have not been paid for. So once you've been paid for a piece of equipment and it has been delivered, then that is when you submit that piece of equipment onto your quarterly report. That is very important. So we do not expect our commission on anything that you have not been paid for. So just want to make sure that you all know that. Again, our terms and conditions document covers all of our quarterly payments, submission of purchase orders. So please make sure you read that terms and conditions document as well. So another thing that we have been asked about are chassis. I kind of go more to a simplistic version. So let me just use a Ford 750, for instance. If your manufacturer, your dealership provides a chassis that is already listed on one of our other cooperative purchasing programs, then we cannot accept that chassis specification for fire and EMS. We would have to use, according to our terms and our bylaws, we have to use our existing contracts for those existing chassis. So please make sure that if you are submitting any lots for chassis, please make sure that you visit our website, ncsheriffs.org/procurement, and then click on vehicles and motorcycles, and then go to trucks or chassis and vans, and then click down, and also we have cutaways on there as well. So please make sure you go and look up whatever chassis you're thinking on submitting onto the fire and EMS lot sheet, making sure that it's not already listed onto that program. If it is listed, please leave those off. We're going to have to delete those. But if it's not listed, if a chassis we do not currently provide on another procurement program, you may submit that option underneath a chassis lot. But again, if F750 is a chassis that you all provide, we do have that on our procurement program on vehicles and motorcycles, and we cannot have duplicative contracts for the same chassis. So if you have any questions about that, let us know. We can talk you through that. But what we will be doing is we will link that up to the current contract that we have for those chassis. And then the body that you will be offering will be working with those chassis that we currently provide on our other procurement programs. Another question that we continue to get is that can manufacturers hold NCSA cooperative contracts? The answer is yes. We have several manufacturers on a heavy equipment side that do hold contracts. The one thing I do want to make sure that you know is that the manufacturers must have service capability within the state of North Carolina so that they can continue to service these contracts. So if your manufacturer wants to submit bids for this upcoming fire and EMS program, but you do not have any dealerships or service capability in the state of North Carolina, we probably will not be accepting your bid package because we have to service the contracts that we provide in North Carolina. Since we're also talking about North Carolina, this procurement program will also follow the same suit as our heavy equipment procurement program, where these contracts are good outside of North Carolina as well as inside North Carolina. So if your territory is Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, anywhere in the Southeast, or pretty much, for instance, with that call from Alaska, anywhere that your territory goes, you can sell under this contract. If you need any help with that, please let us know. I know from a lot of experience, a lot of the county and city governments throughout the country, they require different documentation for example, an intent of agreement form. We have those. Our in-house attorneys have drafted those documents. We work with county and city governments on providing those master agreements or anything that you may need. We can provide that for you. Just let us know. We can get those doctored up so that we can provide you with those so that you can help ease that sales process in the other states that you're working for. So I kind of want to reiterate that these contracts are not only good in North Carolina, but they're good outside of North Carolina as well. So if you need any help with that, just let us know. I want to definitely go over the terms and conditions real quick. There is some questions about section 3.13, which is delivery and your delivery time. I believe the current way that the terms and conditions read is that it has to be within a certain time and date. We have received some feedback from some of the supporters of this program that the delivery for fire and EMS is a little bit different than heavy equipment or vehicles. So if any of you have any recommendations on how to change that language, specifically under delivery section of 3.13, let us know. We don't know how you all handle your delivery. You all do, so please let us know how that language should be rewritten. And then let us know that. And then if we agree and our in-house attorneys agree with that language, then what we'll do is that we'll send that out to everybody participating in this program to make sure that they're okay with that change to that delivery section as well. Another question that we got on the terms and conditions is the MSRP. Some of the pieces of equipment on this program does not come with a window sticker. So again, same with the delivery. If that is something that needs to be changed within the terms and conditions, just let us know and we will follow the same process that we would do for the delivery, that we'll send that out to everybody to make sure that everybody knows the changes to the terms and conditions before you all sign that terms and conditions signature page. One other thing that I want to make sure that you talk about is, or look over, is section 1.15, which is basis for award. And that covers your minimum discounts that you have to put into your lot sheet on your MSRP, your attachments, and also your accessories. I also, kind of following up on the upgrades and downgrades, what we were talking about a little bit before, going back to the F-150s and F series, the Ford trucks. I know that this is not the same thing, but it's very easy for me to understand. On our vehicle and motorcycle procurement program, we have our F-150s 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to your heavy-duty 750s. And the way that we handle that is that there are a lot of upgrades and downgrades that you can do to all of these series of trucks. You can do a dual rear wheel, single rear wheel, extended wheelbase, a lot of different variations of that cabin, and also diesel, all that kind of stuff. So what we do is we allow for your contractors to be able to manipulate that truck to determine whatever the customer wants. So if the customer wants a dual rear wheel versus single rear wheel, or a diesel versus a gas, we can do that just as long as it stays within that base piece of equipment. So if, for instance, the customer wants to go from an F-250 and as it goes up to an F-350 because of the upgrades, then that is not allowed. You have to stay within that F-250 block. And I know we're talking about trucks, and I know it's different between that and your fire and EMS, but you all know your program and your offerings much better than I do. So it's very easy to be able to upgrade and downgrade to determine whatever the customer needs. But what we really need to pay attention to is within that specification that you entered into your original lot sheet, please make sure that if you have to upgrade that piece of equipment up to a certain amount, that it changes that base model, that you have to include that new base model onto the lot sheet. So if you think you're going to have to upgrade something to the point where it changes that base, please make sure that you add that upgrade onto that lot sheet. Because once you get away from that base model number, then that goes outside of your contract. So I know that's a little bit confusing, but a lot of people have questions about how much we can upgrade and downgrade a specific piece of equipment that was included onto the lot sheet. There are limitations, so make sure that if you do need to upgrade or downgrade to the point that it changes that base model number, that you can include that new piece of equipment on your lot sheet, because once that lot sheet is locked, we can't change it for 1 full year. So please take that into consideration. But you do have that opportunity to upgrade and downgrade specific base price given what your customer wants. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much. I know that this is not a lot of very interesting conversations, but hopefully a lot of people are at home because of the virus and you don't have anything better to do than listen to me talk about procurement. So I really appreciate your patience with this. Again, I know this is just a very cursory view over this procurement program. I hope this has answered a lot of your questions that you have for procurement, for fire and EMS, but we are very, very excited to be working with you guys. And we've really been encouraged by the amount of participation that we've received up until now, and we hope that it continues. We really look forward to having a wonderful opportunity of working together. Both Anna and I are traveling all the time promoting these contracts. I believe last year I was in a hotel 186 days just promoting these cooperative contracts. And so we fully expect to be exhibiting at conferences all up and down the East Coast, making sure that county and city governments know there's a new alternative to purchasing for these pieces of equipment. So we really look forward to seeing you guys at some of these conferences. And also, if you don't see us at one of these conferences where you think that it would be good for us to attend, let Anna know. We don't know all the different trade shows yet for fire and EMS. I know Anna's been to several of them over the past several months. But if you don't see us, then that's probably we didn't know about the show. So let us know that, and we'll be more than happy to exhibit and to promote these contracts to government purchasing conferences, fire conferences, and everything else. So let us know what we can do to answer any questions that you may have, and then also let us know what we can do from your perspective on how we can market these programs. Thank you very much for your patience and for your understanding. Look forward to working with you, and I hope everybody stays safe. Thank you very much.